more focused on like the team success and all of that sort of stuff, but it's obviously exciting to get named to the team of the week. What does that sort of honor mean for you?
Yeah, it's special. Obviously, there's only 11 players throughout the whole league, and as the league's expanded throughout the years, it becomes more and more competitive. But for me, when you look at a team of the week, you can look at players that had individual performances that perform well for themselves, but like you were just saying, I know it's a little corny, but for me, for one player to get named to the team of the week, it usually has something to do with the guys surrounding him and the guys that, made an impact on his play as well. So, this past week we had two brilliant defensive performances. I honestly don't think I would have been team of the week if it wasn't for the guys to the left, the guys in front of me, Matt Pickens behind me. I mean, they did some exceptional work, and it's an honor, but it's also something to improve off of. You know that if I was team of the week quality last week, then I need to push myself to be team of the week quality the following week.
You guys got the clean sheet on Saturday, but I think individually you probably had the better performance on Tuesday. Is that something that you would agree with? Is that
two different games. They unfolded a little different. It hurt a little bit to give away that goal against Louisville. That's just the defender in us, but it is what it is. Jimmy did a remarkable job of saving the game for us at the end, which was awesome. But our job as defenders is to keep the clean sheet, give the guys in front of us a chance to win the game for us. We may have taken that upon ourselves Tuesday night with two center backs connecting, but as long as we get the result, we're happy.
When you look at what this team has been able to do, especially since you and Jimmy came in back-to-back games, what does it say about, I guess, the growth of the team individually and how you guys have kind of managed to fit into it very quickly?
Right. Yeah, it's not easy, especially coming in, at a middle or late part of the season. But this whole locker room, the dressing room, we got a handful of experienced guys. A lot of guys that have won championships, been on championship quality teams, and I think we all had a similar mindset. From the beginning of the year for most of the guys, but when I came in here, I knew right away that everyone was out to get a championship and out to bring home some silverware. So it was a business-like approach every single day. We're out here to win. We're out here to get better, and it doesn't matter who you are, if you get called or not. Your job is to get the result.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, you and Jimmy both came in on loan. Is there kind of a different dynamic knowing that these other guys are signed to Nashville SC? They're Nashville SC players, and you guys are kind of almost feel like a rental sort of guy?
Yeah. I mean, it's part of business. It's you control what you can control. I try not to think too much about it. Try not to compare myself to the guy next to me. My job is to go out there and do what I can do to the best of my ability. It is a little strange, with job security or where you're going to be in a couple of months. All that obviously factors into it. That's life. Works for any job, but our job is just to come in here and be part of the team, do what we can to help everybody else win.
Mm-hmm. When you look at this weekend's game, what do you see from Atlanta? What do you kind of know about Atlanta? I don't think you were on the team yet last time they played them.
No. When I was with Charleston, actually, 2 years ago, Atlanta was our affiliate. So a lot of guys that were in that Atlanta program or system were sent to Charleston. So I know a handful of them personally, played with some of them. They have a lot more younger guys. They've really tried to implement their system. They're on like a 7 or 8 game winning streak, so they're in good form. They got a lot of momentum. They're young, they're confident, they're fearless. Comes with being that young academy product, but it'll be a good game. They're maybe not in the same position of the table as we are with the postseason approaching, but they're out there to try to prove something to their coaches and their club. So they're going to bring it. They're creative, they're talented. So we gotta bring ours as well, knowing that we got to do our job Saturday and have someone else do it Sunday.
When you look at a team kind of with their profile, a lot of really young guys, but a lot of really talented guys, do you kind of see them as somebody who obviously hasn't had the game-to-game consistency, but is capable of some pretty significant stuff in any individual game? Is that kind of how you view them?
Oh, yeah. Some of these guys, 16, 17, 18 years old, that are playing at the same level on the same pitch as us, I mean, it speaks to their growth and their development as a player and their talent. So, age is just a number. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. If you can play, you can play. So, it's one of those things when you play younger teams, you got to remind yourself that we're on the same field. It doesn't matter where you came from, how old you are, or how long you've been playing, that we're literally on the same field and that they can play and that you can play and that you got to bring it and respect it.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, this weekend's game has pretty significant stakes for you guys. Are you going to, depending on your results Saturday, all be kind of huddled around the TV Sunday afternoon to see if you get that first spot in the East? Or?
Yeah, we've talked about it briefly. It'd be cool to get together Sunday and kind of watch the game together and hopefully after 90 minutes, have a little moment to celebrate. But at the same time, we don't want to think too far in advance. We got a job to do Saturday, and Sunday's not going to matter unless we do our part Saturday. So, we're going to go out, get our job done Saturday, hopefully get together Sunday and enjoy it a little bit.
At this point in the year, you guys obviously know what is possible ahead of you. There's only just a couple games left that affect it. Do you kind of think about what you're going to be doing Sunday if you guys get the result on Saturday evening, kind of see if you get first place in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if it gets to that, we'll probably get together as a group or maybe watch as a group. I mean, at this point in the season, and really for the last probably 3 or 4 games, it's kind of just been one at a time. They've all felt like playoff games. We've known what's been on the line, and so we're just really just, I mean, each result is equally important at this point in the season, you know.
You guys have turned it up, especially defensively. I would say probably since Forrest and Jimmy came in. What has kind of been that growth in getting them into the team, and then also kind of coming together, especially defensively, as a team since those guys have arrived?
Yeah, and I mean, not to take anything away from what Forrest and Jimmy have given us, but I think realistically, the front line deserves a lot of credit for what's going on. I think we're seeing a lot of cohesiveness from Lebo and Rios, and that really is the first line of defense. I think we're pressing better. I think we're picking times to when to go and when not to go better, and it's helping us not expose them as often, which is helping us.
Then obviously, kind of, I would say that the offense hasn't clicked quite as much lately as it had earlier in the year. But like you mentioned, you know, even if Rios isn't scoring, he's a big part of the defensive structure too. Lebo the same way. What does that say about the mentality of your team to know that, you know, even if a guy isn't you know, scoring a goal, he still kind of invests in what the team's whole goal is?
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of guys that are really buying into what this season is about and what you know, our team is about. And Rios is one of those guys that's really bought in. You know, he hasn't been rewarded as much on the offensive end, which I'm sure, you know, obviously he wants those goals. But I don't really worry. I see him every day in training. I see the way that he scores goals. And, you know, I think when the time is right, he's going to step up when we need him. I'm sure he will.
Obviously, he's done it 18 times already this year, right? When you kind of take a look at this Atlanta team, what do you remember from the first game against them, and what can you kind of take away to prepare for tomorrow night's game?
I think, I mean, especially with the two sides, like we've said before, you never really know what you're going to get in terms of players. I think they've changed shape, which has probably changed their style of play a little bit. I think they put a pretty young group out against us that first time, made some errors that we were able to capitalize on, but they're going to be talented, and you know, we're going to have to approach it with the right mentality if we want to get the job done.
Now you mentioned that, you know, there are two teams, so they obviously are going to have a lot of really young players, but a lot of really talented players. When you look at a team like that, do you see a team that is capable of I guess performing above what they've done over the course of the year more than other teams, just because of that youth, it can click at any time?
Yeah, I think young players are often, you know, very talented but a little inconsistent, and that's why you don't always know what you're going to get from them.
Right.
You know, if they're having a day, they can be, you know, very good, and if they're confident and feeling good about themselves, and you know, if we can approach the game with the right mentality and I think set the right tone for, you know, what the game means to us, hopefully we can, you know, squash that early.
Do you feel like you're kind of settled in more in kind of that defensive midfield position now that you've been playing it alongside Bolu a little bit more consistently over these past few games? Obviously, you don't want to, you know, have that opportunity because of Reed's injury or anything like that. But do you feel like you guys are fully comfortable next to each other at this point?
Yeah, and I think just the cohesiveness within the midfield, including Lebo, I think has gotten a lot better, having it be more consistent over the last few games. I think we're finding a rhythm in there and able to control moments of the game that are important to us a little more often, which has been big.